engaged. I'm the same person who made several videos saying that I never had any plans to get married.
Never wanted to be anybody's girlfriend, and now you're somebody's wife.
I don't like being in relationships. Why would I want to get married? Marriage is work. Having children is work. Divorce is work. And it's not what I want with my life. I feel like you shouldn't get married. I really wish women would stop getting married. Marriage is an antiquated idea that I believe oppresses women.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Girl Chat. Today we're going to be talking about this anti-marriage influencer who got engaged. And we're going to see how the internet treats people when they do not walk the talk. And we have so many different people sharing their opinions in way better words than I could. So listen in, girlies. I'll be back at the end of the video to share my thoughts on this. Feel free to share your comments down below and let's talk.
I'm engaged. I'm the same person who made several videos saying that I never had any plans to get married.
Never wanted to be anybody's girlfriend, and now you're somebody's wife.
I don't like being in relationships. Why would I want to get married? Marriage is work. Having children is work. Divorce is work. And it's not what I want with my life. I feel like you shouldn't get married. I really wish women would stop getting married. Marriage is an antiquated idea that I believe oppresses women.
First of all, marriage is not oppression. Marrying the wrong person is. And number two, this creator is receiving a lot of flack. Many people feeling like she completely deceived her audience and did a bait and switch because she built her platform off of basically shitting on marriage just to get engaged in the end. And instead of admitting that she was wrong to a certain extent about marriage and that she low-key wanted to get married the whole time, she just hadn't found the right person yet, she gave this video response that a lot of people believe is gaslighting and are eating her up in the comment section. Lord, not her getting engaged after 9 months. All this to avoid saying I fell in love because I'm human and this is what humans do. She has lost all credibility with her audience and is now being seen as a grifter. Third comment, you can't speak in absolutes, build a platform on it, then retreat into nuance when your life changes. What it sounds like to me is that she finally found what she was looking for in terms of money, status, and just somebody who wasn't annoying, which is fine. However, I can't help but wonder how many women's insecurities that she capitalized off of and influenced to make very important life decisions when it came to deprioritizing marriage and relationships, even though she herself wasn't even practicing what she preaches and didn't even believe what she was saying all the way. If anything, it sounds like she was speaking from a place of insecurity, hurt, and had too many bad apples, so she wrote off the whole bunch. Knowing doggone well she wanted the golden apple the whole time, it was just a matter of waiting on the right opportunity, even though she had everybody convinced otherwise. This puts me in the mind of those plus-sized influencer, body positivity people who claim that they love their body, they never want to change it, but as soon as they start getting support and a massive following, they take that GLP-1 sponsorship, they get them enough money to afford the Ozempic, get all skinny, and don't look back. This is exactly why it's so important to have your own thoughts and to not put too much stock into what influencers who follow extreme ideologies that aren't normal say, right? Because you're pulled into them because they go against the grain and you finally find a space where you don't feel alienated. However, that does not guarantee that they won't change their mind and go with the grain and be just like everybody else.
This is one of the reasons why I preach discernment. Y'all get so wrapped up in people with these very strong opinions that you don't realize that what they're saying is usually rooted in insecurity and miseducation. You have to be so discerning when you're dealing with a person that has an extreme opinion or very rigid rules about something they do not have or something they have never experienced. You have to ask yourself, does this person dislike this thing? Is this person against this thing because they genuinely see an issue with it? Or are they trying to make themselves feel better for the fact that they don't have it? Because people will create standards for rooms that they don't even have the key to. People will devalue and degrade something, a thing, a person, an experience because they feel and sometimes know that it's something they will never have. When a person cannot sit in objectivity or neutrality over something they do not have, you have to truly ask yourself, is it intelligence or is it scarcity? Now, with this particular situation, this woman could very well have just been lying to y'all so that she could have, made her money on social media and get her following and all that kind of stuff. But I really think it speaks to the fact that miserable people will devalue something that they feel they cannot have in order to make themselves feel better for the fact that they don't have it. And those people are dangerous because they're inauthentic. They're disingenuous with themselves. And if they're disingenuous with themselves, they cannot be authentic and genuine with you. Some of y'all have friends like this. Some of y'all have people in y'all circle that are just like this. And you need to start questioning, does this person actually find this thing bad, or are they just upset that they don't have it? Misery loves company. People want you to be just as miserable as they are. And there are people that will lead you astray on purpose. There are people who will very much know that they deep down, especially when it comes to relationships, they know they want a man, a partner, a marriage or something like that. And they will absolutely hype up that antagonistic mindset. And then they'll turn around and get the very thing that they told you was bad. So this is why you have to really think for yourself. First of all, we got to start thinking for ourselves. Like, y'all have got to stop getting on the internet and internalizing everything that people are telling you, because you never know what's going on the other side of that screen. But second, we have to start taking acumen more seriously. We have to prioritize developing our discernment about people. So for those of you who listen to this woman, I hope you learned something today.
I'm going to say something that might get people mad at me, but when a, famously anti-marriage influencer gets engaged, I personally don't find myself that surprised for a couple of reasons. One, just I'm now in my late 20s and I've lived to the age where you see all the friends who swore they would never get married or have kids get married and have kids. It is something that happens. People get to the age where they feel this pressure and they're like, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it because this is my last chance. Or they're just like, maybe they meet someone that they finally want to do it with. Who knows what it is, but a lot of people make that choice right around this age and do a big 180. So I am used to seeing that. But also there is something about this particular genre of man-hating anti-marriage creator, because I think that a tell for when someone is going to make that flip is if they are very, very invested in their own beauty. You can tell with a lot of these creators who are like sort of in this like femcel, but like super attractive, super looks maxi, supposedly to get like money from men and extract material things from men. You can tell they're very, very invested in their own appearance. It's a huge point of pride for them. And it is so hard to separate your appearance being a huge point of pride from men's satisfaction with it, especially when you are telling us you use it to get resources from them, because resources from men are 1000% also a form of psychological male validation. And I don't think we talk about this enough. Like, a lot of these women who want to prove how much money a man will spend on them, they don't just want a vacation in Bali. They want to prove they are the best woman who deserves the most material compensation for how hot they are. Like, it is an ego thing in addition to potentially being like a, I just like luxuries type thing. Like, we can't really totally separate those things in a world where they have been entwined for decades and generations and centuries even. And there are definitely two types of like anti-marriage, heterosexual relationship influencers, hetero pessimistic or hetero fatalist influencers, whatever. The first genre is not super appearance focused and they're more like on a radical feminist camp. And then the second really falls into this sort of Shira 7, like optimize your own beauty to get what you want from men. And I just don't fully trust that, because I don't think that you really are able to completely take emotions out of a relationship like that, whether they are emotions for the other person, as potentially in this case of like deciding to get engaged, or they are emotions about yourself and your ego and where you fit in the hierarchy and proof that you're being desirable and being picked. It's just like we are not taking men out of the equation. We are not decentering men if what we're centering instead is men's money as proof of their own value and worth and how well they're being treated. So I just am not super surprised when somebody like this ends up, maybe caving to validation in another way. One last piece of this that I really want to talk about is in that creator's video sort of explaining her engagement, she said something about like, oh, you know, I'm not going to live my life in fear. Like, I'm going to take the risk because we only have one life to live and I can handle it if I get my heart broken. That is something I have also said about relationships as a certified man hater and relationship hater of many years, who is in a relationship. And I really respect that attitude. I think it's brave. I think it's a brave attitude. But someone came in the comments, and according to their profile, they're a therapist, and said all this to avoid saying you fell in love. And I feel like that really hits the nail on the head. This worldview does not allow for love, but love is real. Love comes for many of us. And if you do not have a worldview that allows for that, and I say this because I didn't before I met my partner, it can be really destabilizing and it can force you to confront a lot of things that you believed or thought you believed. And it can force you to be a bit of a hypocrite for a while. I mean, I really talked a big game about being single forever and who needs a relationship anyway, and it seems miserable. And now I've been in one for almost 7 years. And the first few months of that were very cognitively dissonant for me because it was such a big part of my identity that I was not going to participate in that. And I actively chose not to participate in it for a long time until I met the right person. So my heart kind of goes out to this creator in that way. But I also think the male validation piece should not be ignored when we talk about people who have this type of platform and pretend like getting male validation in the form of money is different than getting male validation in the form of ego.
Marriage was the act of making women property. I personally disagree with the entire construct of marriage. I have no intention of ever getting married. I relish in the idea of being single. If you are at all on the fence about getting married, you need to not get married. If you marry a rich man, your life will be controlled by him. Yes, I am engaged. Yes, I am the same person who made several videos saying that I never had any plans to get married, I did not want to get married, and I did not agree with the institution of marriage. I am in a good situation. I'm with someone who is fantastic, and I'm in a good situation.
So to all the women crashing out over MJ Gray's pivot from anti-marriage to becoming engaged, let me help you out. First of all, you're taking this social media shit way too serious, okay? So the next time you open the app with the same mindset that you would when you open up Netflix, okay? When you open up that app, you have all of these different categories of genres. Okay, you have your comedies, your documentaries, your true crime, romance, all these different categories. Well, TikTok is no different. For the most part, it's strictly entertainment, okay? And when you think of it that way, when that perfect couple breaks up, or your favorite creator, you find out they're MAGA, you won't have this visceral, emotional reaction because you don't know these people any damn way. I mean, most of us barely know the people who are in our inner circle. So stop acting like you know these people, putting all this emotional investment. A lot of these people are just up here trying to run up the bag. That's it. So just calm down. It's not that serious. Now, you know, there are creators on here that are sincerely putting out the content that works for you. Follow them. And the other ones, just unfollow. It's not that serious. Calm down. Plus, we have bigger things to worry about. We're in a damn war, and gas is $100 a gallon. All right, love y'all. Bye.
I personally disagree with the entire construct of marriage. You know that I have no intention of ever getting married. I relish in the idea of being engaged. Yeah.
So I know nothing about this woman. I've never followed her, but I've been seeing her pop up. So like I dug into the lore, and apparently she's built her entire business and platform and podcast over her core beliefs and values being that she will never get married because she doesn't agree with the concept, and she believes that it is taking ownership over a woman, only for her to then turn around and get engaged after 9 months. In her most recent video, she's basically telling everybody, use discernment. I never promised that I wouldn't get married. I just said I don't believe in the concept of marriage. And I said I would never get married, but I never promised. When you state that something is a core value and deep belief for you as a person, you don't just automatically switch up. We see this all the time. We see these big creators pander to certain demographics of people. We constantly see people like her LARPing around TikTok, building their platforms over something that they know is going to gain them millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of followers, views. And this is why I don't trust any creator that makes content hating the opposite sex, but has a fiance, is married, but then preaches, it's all men, but then goes and lays down with a man at the end of the night. I could reference a few creators that have this type of content that are living exactly what I just explained. But people fall for it and people eat it up. You can't speak in absolutes, build a platform on it, then retreat into nuance once your life changes. And I couldn't agree more with that statement.
So I've been seeing the controversy about that influencer getting married after saying that she never wanted to. And this is something that I need you guys to understand, okay? I need you to understand that taking advice from women that are in their mid to late 20s will leave you disappointed pretty much every single time. Okay, and that's not me being like, oh, because they don't know anything. It comes down to life experience. This is the same type of thing that happened with the wizard Liz, right? Like, there are certain things that you can only ever know from experience or being in proximity to an experience of someone who's gone through it. Okay, like that lady being like, oh, I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. Like, especially when it comes to certain types of feminists, okay, they are always going to reach the milestones of the patriarchy. They talk about how much they, hate the beauty standard. They talk about how much they hate men. They talk about how much they hate all these things, yet they're skinny. They still date men, and they still eventually end up getting married, having children, and becoming their mothers. The very mothers that they rebel against, the very mothers that they say that they hate, the very mothers that they don't like, they end up becoming those mothers, taking their advice and then pushing that very same ideology onto their daughters, okay? And I'm not saying that there's anything inherently bad with it. I just think that discernment needs to be used. Because if you listen to anybody that's on extreme sides of the dating advice section, feminine section, female empowerment, you're going to be disappointed, because a lot of the time these women just haven't found what they're looking for. Okay, they talk about things that they have no idea about. I mean, none whatsoever. That's why I find that those of us who are balanced, audiences find it a little bit hard sometimes, because nuance exists. You can't have black and white thinking. The red pill is black and white thinking. Okay, content like that where, oh, men are gross and this is this and this is that, like my husband said it perfectly. He said you have to have principles, okay, over rules, because when you have principles, you can see the world as it is, because the world is not black and white, okay? It's not black and white. There is always going to be nuance to it. So you can have your principles, and those are your guiding lights, okay? You can't be so rigid that it's like you're talking like how she was talking. I don't believe in relationships. I'm never going to get married. Dating men, blah, blah, blah. Gross. And now we're engaged. And now we're embarrassed online. And now we're being like, life is not black and white. Okay? It's not black and white. There are no like finite ways of doing things. There is only the right way to do things, and sometimes getting there can be a bit, that's just life. Same thing when they say about success, right? Like, success isn't like this. And many of us know that personally. Success is like this, and you end up there one day and you're like, who knew? That tower moment, my life being completely ruined when I'd left here. And sometimes it's not even that dramatic. Sometimes it's quite simply a conversation you have with somebody, or a detour one day. Like, you just don't know where it's going to come from. And this is why I say, be careful of the never people. Like, especially the ones that are teaching you to stay single, regardless of whether you want to or not. That's a nuanced thing. Never have children. That's a nuanced thing. Like, don't date men at all. It's nuanced. If you want to be a mother, you're allowed to want to be a mother. If you want to be married, you're allowed to want to be married. If you don't want children and you don't want marriage, you're allowed to want that. Okay? You're allowed to want that. The problem comes when there is only, one way of thinking, child-free only, or your life isn't real until you have children and a husband. Life isn't, life is nuanced, okay? We don't all want the same things. That's why some of you take away different things from my messages, okay? And I'm never gonna advise you that you have to want marriage and children if that's not what you want. Okay, my main message is self-love, female empowerment, and making sure that these men do not track you by your hair follicles through a hedge backways. Okay, I don't want you to get got by anybody, man, woman, child, or fish. Okay, that's not what I want. Self-love first. Don't be a slow learner.
TikTok wants to cancel an influencer for getting engaged. But here's the twist. She built a platform by telling women not to get married.
Marriage signifies the ownership of women. And if you're not new to my page, you know that I have no intention of ever getting married.
And right now, people are upset that she has changed her mind.
Yes, I am engaged. Yes, I am the same person who made several videos saying that I never had any plans to get married. I did not want to get married, and I did not agree with the institution of marriage. I don't think as women you should feel pressured to get married, because when women are pressured to get married, they end up in bad situations. I am in a good situation. I'm with someone who is fantastic, and I'm in a good situation.
It's totally okay to change your mind. I think the problem was in the way how she delivered the message. She said that she's getting married because she's in a good situation. And when she was telling women not to get married, did she not have trust that other women can be in good situations as well? And that other women are capable of meeting great men who are obsessed with them and love them too?
I feel like anything that I could say in this situation, like how I genuinely feel, is going to get me into trouble. I personally could never trust a man. Oh, MJ, why is she giving a relationship advice? She's not in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I sleep like a baby at night because I don't worry about some man running around and cheating on me.
I think if she would just tell her audience that she has changed her mind, that would be more fine. Because in my opinion, when people have been posting consistently for a few years and they never change their opinions, it means that they figured out what is viral and they're only talking about this. Or it means that throughout years, they didn't read books or consumed media or talk to people who changed their minds. That's why I think it's so dangerous to have radical opinions online. People who were obsessed with her yesterday, they personally feel betrayed.
Y'all thought a white girl with 500,000, 500,000 followers bashing men all day wasn't gonna go out and get a man?
If designer things are just tacky, they're just played out. Like, can we do something creative and original? I don't know. I guess I just don't like the wealth signaling of it.
Another shopping spree in Paris.
This actually annoys me far more than her getting engaged. That's just like you were a hater because you couldn't afford it.
Anyways, MJ, congratulations on your engagement. I hope you will have a happy marriage and an amazing prenup. What do you think about this drama? So as always, do whatever you want with this information. TikTok wants to cancel an influencer for getting engaged. But here's the twist. She built a platform by telling women not.
Whenever you're speaking about marriage signifies the ownership of women. And if you're not new to my page, you know that I have no intention of ever getting married.
And right now, people are upset that she has changed her mind.
Yes, I am engaged. Yes, I am the same person who made several videos saying that I never had any plans to get married. I did not want to get married, and I did not agree with the institution of marriage. I don't think as women you should feel pressured to get married, because when women are pressured to get married, they end up in bad situations. I am in a good situation. I'm with someone who is fantastic, and I'm in a good situation.
It's totally okay to change your mind. I think the problem was in the way how she delivered the message. She said that she's getting married because she's in a good situation. And when she was telling women not to get married, did she not have trust that other women can be in good situations as well, and that other women are capable of meeting great men who are obsessed with them and love them too?
I feel like anything that I could say in the situation, like how I genuinely feel is going to get me into trouble. I personally could never trust a man. Oh, MJ, why is she giving relationship advice? She's not in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I sleep like a baby at night because I don't worry about some man running around and cheating on me.
I think if she would just tell her audience that she has changed her mind, that would be more fine. Because in my opinion, when people have been posting consistently for a few years and they never change their opinions, it means that they figured out what is viral and they're only talking about this. Or it means that throughout years, they didn't read books or consumed media or talk to people who changed their minds. That's why I think it's so dangerous